I'm in favor of people coming into this country legally. And you know what? They can have it any way you want. You can call it visas, you can call it work permits, you can call it anything you want.
How many of you actually go through the same thing at home? How many of you actually see the whole conversations, all of these conversations happening, that the Trump government, the Trump administration has made it so much harder for Indians to actually settle into the US? Well, let me tell you, there is a lot more to the story, and there's been a lot of things flying, but not a lot of it is confirmed right now. The media is trying to gain your attention, they're trying to gain traction, and that's what they are successfully doing if you are believing their claims. So let's really talk about this in detail today. What is it that's going on about H1B? For all of you people who do not know what the H1B is, you do not need it for the first 3 years of your working in the US, as long as you are going for your CPT and OPT. That kind of depends, because your CPT is actually one year long, and your OPT, that's optional practical training, which will extend your CPT, is 2 years long. For STEM degrees, that's your science, technology, engineering and mathematics degrees. And when it comes to your non-STEM degrees, which are all of these degrees apart from the STEM degrees, the OPT period is 1 year. So in that case, you would still be able to work for 2 years, including your CPT. So that's how you can work in the US. This is something which no one is going to take away from you.
I know the H1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use, and I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers. And second of all, I think it's very important to say, well, I'm a businessman and I have to do what I have to do, and it's sitting there waiting for you, but it's very bad. It's very bad for business in terms of, it's very bad for our workers, and it's unfair for our workers, and we should end it.
And there actually has been a reform which has extended the OPT from 29 months to 36 months in total, I mean, with the CPT. So that this kind of shows that they want the skill to be there. They want the people who are good at what they do to be in the US, to make it the global economy and make sure that it's a world power. So why would they just make the H1B disappear? Why would they want that? Or why would they make it harder for people to get in? That's not the whole story, and Trump administration is not going to remove the H1B administration, and there's a whole lot more to it that you guys need to know. So let's get into that today.
Right now, H1B visas are awarded in a totally random lottery, and that's wrong. Instead, they should be given to the most skilled and highest paid applicants, and they should never ever be used to replace Americans.
So a bill was supposed to be passed right about last month, and what happened was that it has been postponed, and it will be passed in January 2019. So the thing that was targeted in that bill was that basically even in 1998 the salary that an employee should have in order to file a petition for H1B should be at least $60,000 per year. But what happens is that they've been saying that there's been so much inflation, and even the mediocre talent is being admitted into this group of special talented people that we want to admit in the US. So what they're trying to do is that they are making sure that you guys are only the best of best comes over there, and they are able to kind of make it over there. So what they want is that they want to raise the 60,000 limit to 130K per year. Now this is going to have a lot of implications, because 130K per year, some of the people who are already working there, they might get their salary bumped up and they might continue working. It's fine, it's great for them, they got a raise as well. But in other cases, if you are working and basically what happens is you are kind of not able to manage that kind of a salary, you're not being paid that amount, well, in that case you will be deported back to India. Or what can happen is that basically, if you have some dependents living with you on H4 visa, that's immediate dependents, your kids, your wife or something like that, your husband. So in that case, they will also be deported, because they won't be allowed to work anymore. Education is something they might be allowed to do, even in case you have a salary of 130,000 per year, but they won't be able to work. So this is what's actually written in the bill, but it's not been passed yet. So let me tell you actually why this bill is something that will not pass exactly, or how it will, even if it passes, how it will benefit us.
The president argues that there is a ready supply of American tech workers to fill these jobs and that the visa program is being abused. What is your reaction to that?
There are people with some skills, but the type of skills that Silicon Valley is looking for are always in short supply because technology is changing so fast. And immigration is the lifeblood of Silicon Valley. You know, yes, there's some abuse, but it's badly needed by Silicon Valley for what it does.
Well, first of all, various such kind of claims have been floated around previously and they have been very, very unsuccessful. So there's no chance that this time will be anything different than that. Secondly, the thing is that out of the, well, let me tell you how the H1B process goes. There's a total pool of 85,000. So around 85,000 visas are given out almost every year. So what happens is basically, you know, they have 65,000 differently for even the undergraduates and all the people who are coming to the US, let's say from these big sharp companies such as TCS, which sends all of its employees over there to work, something like that. You know, so all of those people can apply in that 65,000 cap. And there's this 20,000 cap again, which is for the masters and PhD applicants, which are basically, you know, advanced students. So they get another bite at the apple. So they can basically they basically get 2 chances. It's not really 2 chances per year, but you know, 65,000, 20,000. So basically you get 2 chances in a way. You might get in, you might not get in. It's a totally lottery-based system. You might get it, you might not. But you know, the thing is that what happens is out of those 65,000 slots, 6,800 are reserved for the people from Chile and Singapore. And if this fiat kind of passes, and basically if people are allowed to only stay if they have 130K or more in their salary, well, in that case, these 6,800 people, you know, this kind of a thing, this will be removed, all right? Apart from that, what will happen is that it will lead to a loss of economy. People travel to the US because, you know, a lot of talented students just travel a lot of times. So it is going to affect the travel industry because a lot of people also, you know, their parents also go in to attend the convocation when the students are graduating. So that is going to stop, as well as, you know, universities, most of their income kind of comes in through international students because they are asked to pay about, you know, twice the price than a domestic student would. So even that kind of gets affected. So really it isn't beneficial for anyone. Even US will lose some of the greatest talent that comes in from India and China. So that's something that will really affect the economy as well, and basically, you know, the technological sector, which we say that US is really strong about. It's only because of people, you know, people from, there was one particular year, I'm not sure, I think it's 2011 or something, where all 6 Nobel Prizes went to international people who have been kind of working in the US. So that's the kind of impact that international students are causing. So that's something that the US is moving away from. So that's really why it should not happen. It is going to affect both sides adversely, and there's really no benefit to it.
The majority of the income that a lot of American companies receive is from abroad. They market their goods globally. If we're going to now shut off the rest of the world will shut us off and it'll impact our economy. The simplest thing over here is to untether the visa from the employer and let the free market prevail. This is what makes America great, is the free market. Let's go back to that. Let's not have more regulation or more you know, loopholes that can be subverted, which is what we were talking about. Simple, untether the things, let the free market rule. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, now let's take the worst case scenario here. Let's say that this bill gets passed and, you know, there's nothing you can do. You have to get a salary of at least 130K or else you are out of the country, you will be deported. Now, let me tell you how this will affect students. You know, my primary audience is the people who are going to the US, who are going to study. Now, if you're an undergraduate, master's or PhD student, you know, it's really, really different in most cases, but let me tell you what happens, you know, in kind of a nutshell, all right? There's one category of students who go on to study in the USA and then go on to work over there. So they've already worked 3 years because of their OPT and everything, at least if they're from a STEM field, and then they're going on to take the jobs, all right? Now there's another category which is going on from, you know, let's say all of the countries, let's say TCS is based in India, and what it's going to do is it's going to send some of its employees over there, and it's kind of like they're getting cheap labor over there as well, and skilled labor. So they're going to file in the H1B petition in that 65,000 kind of you know, slots, and basically those are the people who are mainly targeted by the reform, even if it goes through. So what happens is these people are not allowed to stay in the US unless and until they have a reason, right? So even if there are people who are not studying in the US, if they've studied in India and they're going over there and they're just working, these people are targeted. These people will be deported, and what happens as a result of that? There's a lot of more jobs that are in the industry right now. Now, since there are a lot of more jobs, who will fill up these jobs? Of course, there's this skilled labor. I mean, America does not produce so many people that can actually just take all of its jobs. There have to be more people over there. There has to be more skilled labor over there. Now, this pile of people who have been studying in the USA, these people will get more preference in terms of their education because they've been studying in that place for the past 3-4 years, 2 years even. But these are the people who will fill up the jobs. So that's really the crux of it. I mean, you will be given the opportunity. There's one more thing that you guys should know about. This is the 85,000 kind of a cap, so approximately 85,000 visas are given out every year. But there's also a basically non-cap exempt something visa. So this is also kind of like H1B, but the thing is these can be given out any time in the year to anyone who demonstrates a special working capability, but at the same time he should be working on something in one of these fields, all right? It may be medical field, it may be research, or it may be non-profit, really, not volunteering. But if you are working in one of these fields, you can directly apply and get the H1B. It doesn't matter, you don't have to go through the lottery process, you don't have to get into any go through that rigorous kind of a protocol that otherwise is. So that's what you can do. You will definitely get in straight in. So that's one way. If your target is really staying in the US, that's just one other way of doing it. I mean, there's a lot of great jobs in these industries as well. You don't have to think about the actual industry as well. So I mean, if you are a computer specialist, if you are a software engineer, you can imagine that the university also needs the same kind of software engineers as the industry would. So that's just kind of a cherry on the top, if you would like. So guys, I've been doing a lot of research on this topic. What I came to know was that there's a whole lot of people, what they are doing is actually they're not able to secure jobs with the experience they have, even after going for a master's degree. So what they would do is they would just go to a body shop and they would just kind of fake 8 years of experience on their resume and kind of, just proxy themselves into the interviews and try to secure their jobs. So that's something, kind of a violation of the rule that is going on over there if they're not able to get the job. And a lot of people in the US are aware of it. We might not be aware of it right now. If you're in India, you might not be aware of it. Once you actually go to the US, you will understand that this kind of practice has been going on for quite a while now, and it's really not good. So the only thing that's been changed under the Trump government until now is that, suppose that you got the H1B, all right? You are on the H1B, you've been, you have 3 to 6 years on the basis of your permit. Now you're going for an extension, all right? What happens is that even if you're going for an extension, your application will be kind of checked or scrutinized the same way as someone else's application was applying for the first time. So earlier what used to happen was that, all right, this guy already has the H1B, so let's kind of go easy on him and they won't really scrutinize all of your documents. Now what happens is that they will scrutinize them as they would earlier. In both the cases, the scrutiny level is the same now. It's a whole lot more rigorous, and that's the only thing that has been seen to change. So as you guys might know, the H1B is given to only people who fall under specialty occupation. So it's like you can't apply for the H1B if you're a janitor, because anyone can do that, right? Only if you come under these definition of specialty occupations, in that case you will be allowed to apply for it. You are eligible to apply for it. Now what's happening is that even right now you might have seen the news and everything, the outbreak, because why did this all happen in the past few days? The only thing is that they are changing the definition of specialty occupations. Specialty occupations definition is being redefined really. So you guys will kind of get to see the effects on your jobs. If you're applying for a job that is not under the new definition of specialty occupations, in that case and only in that case your application may be rejected. One more thing that's been happening is that the H1B petitions, all of these people who are filing for H1B, they are seeing a lot more rejections right now, and the Trump administration has done something on the basis of which the USCIS, which the US Citizenship and Immigrations Committee services, basically what they're doing is they don't have to really inform you before, or they don't have to show request for evidence or notice of intent to deny to the person who's applying for the H1B, but straight away they will reject your application in either of two cases. The first case is that you do not have the whole evidence and your application doesn't come to, seem to come through. So basically you might have failed to provide some evidence, which you might even have. And the second case is that you're not eligible, so in that case they will also straight away deny your application. So these are the only changes. What I think overall is that as for the people who are going for masters and PhD, you guys are already in the safe zone. You have non-cap exempt H1B. You have a world-class education which is valued all over the world. I think you should think this through really, because there are a lot of places you might go. There's Canada, there's Germany. A lot of people are kind of moving towards those countries nowadays. But the basic idea remains the same. If you're going for an international education, go for an international education and not the immigration part. I mean, it's like the Trump administration is doing something like, I mean, a lot of you are from India, right? You know what the quota system is. Like, the general people are not preferred nowadays, it seems as if, or the SC, ST population is preferred, or OBC. These people are given some special preference, all right? Forgive me for saying this, but that's how India is, and you guys know it. So that's kind of the thing that Trump is trying to target right now, and I think that's better than our own country. I mean, they're doing something to better their own country, the status of the people who are unemployed in their own country. So you've got to take a stance towards their side as well, and try to understand why they are trying to do this. Okay, so this was just a brief video about informing you about H1B. If you have any questions, post them down in the comment section down below. You can also catch me on my Instagram, where you can see my whole applications process. I'm a student just like you guys. And you can follow you can add yourself to the WhatsApp group. The links will be in the description. You can also add yourself to the Facebook group just in case. All of the information, you can connect with me. Anything I can help you guys with, I will. Alright? Thank you for watching this video. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.